Deadline wasn't a very good show this time. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling. NXT delivered.
Yep, NXT had a 4 a.m. deadline in the UK to entertain me, and it just didn't really happen. I think the show started off strong with Shawn Michaels and CM Punk, and it just went downhill for there. We got Shawn Michaels, we got CM Punk, we got Rey Mysterio with crutches. And then when Dragon Lee came out, you knew that was the downfall. You knew the show just wasn't going to be able to recover for that. How can you go for those three guys to Dragon Lee?
Yeah, I think they should have seriously... I mean, can Michaels not kick off the show, but we have Punk later? I don't really...
I still think we should have got CM Punk just burying AEW for 3 hours straight. That would have made a better show for me. That would have had Tony Khan pissing his pants. He says he felt unsafe. Well... Could you imagine if they just gave CM Punk a live mic to talk shit about AEW? How unsafe would Tony Boy have felt then? But I tell you what, I felt a wee bit unsafe watching this show. It wasn't very good. A lot of the matches I don't think were worthy of being on the premium live event. And we'll start with the first match. Dragon Lee beats Dominic Mysterio. I don't agree with it. I think Dominic Mysterio's been one of the better things in wrestling for like the past, year, 6 months, whatnot. His North American title reign has been okay. As much as I hate the Judgment Day, I think he is a shining light in that faction. But he lost the belt tonight, and he lost it to Dragon Lee, a guy that I don't see anything impressive about, a guy that I don't think is going anywhere. Just a guy in general that for me isn't champion material, but now he has a championship in the form of the North American title. So CJ Novo, aye. So if you know, you know, guys, and what you need to know by the end of this match is that we have a new champ, and his name is Dragon Lee, buddy.
And I was sitting in my car and I was watching this match.
Right, that's enough. Nobody gets what we're talking about. But what we need JBL to chase this guy back over the border. Now, he was on SmackDown.
You come here illegally, Spicosaurus. Honestly though, right, Dominic Mysterio should dethrone Seth Rollins, because I think this guy's got a lot of heat, and Raw fucking needs it. Because Seth Rollins is doing nothing. I mean, we had Jey Uso against Rollins on Raw. Why can't Rollins lose to him?
Is it not a bad sign though when... I got no offence to Dominic Mysterio, but see when you're actually looking at him and you're thinking that he is a realistic option to win the World Championship next, is that not a bad... It's a bad sign.
Yes and no, because I look at him as a heat magnet, and I think that guy could seriously put someone over later down the line if he has a long title run. It's like the relief of this.
He's green as fuck. I mean, he's green. He's not that great on the mic. I just think he's the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, but would you rather give it to someone green who's young, got like 25 years ahead of them, rather than Seth Rollins, been there, done that?
No, I'm saying that. I just don't. As much as I think Dominic Mysterio is one of the best things in WWE, I'm not going to pretend that I think he's great.
No, I'm not saying he's the greatest thing ever, but I think what they've got, he's all right. Dominic is pretty much the best thing on the shows that he appears on.
Aye, so, I don't know.
I mean, his comments on Wesley on NXT, man, the best thing of the week. But sadly, Wesley was not here to make fun of. It was just this match and he loses. Oh, but the Judgment Day weren't there. And it's a sad state of affairs where this guy can't win a match because Mammy ain't there.
Rey Mysterio cheering on the fact that his son lost.
His daddy was there. He fucking...
Mommy wasn't there, but Daddy was. And Daddy was happy that we had a new champion. Anyway, that was it. The Dragon Lee beats Dominic Mysterio. We then move on to the first Iron Deadline. What's the match called?
Iron Survivor Challenge.
Is that the actual name of the match?
I believe so.
I don't think it is.
Iron Survivor then?
It might be Iron Survivor. I don't think the name Challenge is in there. But anyway, we get the Iron Survivor women's match. Lash Legend, some other woman I've no idea. Kalani, never heard of her.
Kalani Jordan. Lash, yeah.
Tiffany Stratton, Fallon Henley, and the other one was, the winner. Blair Davenport.
It's funny how we don't know the winner.
Just, what has happened? Surely there's better women on the... I know later on in the night with Roxanne Perez and Kiana James inside a steel cage, wouldn't they have just been better off in this Deadline match? And you could have worked their beef into this.
Yeah.
Maybe had them start first and second.
If you've got someone in the match that's not even picking up a pin, what's the fucking point of being there?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the choices for this was very strange. Lash Legend at the end is tied with Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport picks up a win with about 15 seconds to go, and then she just runs around the ring and runs in and out the ring to avoid getting pinned, and just a bit lame in my opinion. Lash Legends chasing her. Felt like Lash Legend should have been a face here trying to chase the heel, but in fact it was a heel chasing a heel. I don't know, just poor in my opinion. I don't get it.
It was poor, and I think the fact you've got two of them in the same night, like the men's was just done so much better. And yeah, they went for different things, but I think this one just fell flat. And even like Cora Jade returns, and it's like, yeah, so what? And then you've just got Taya Valkyrie or Lyra, whatever her fucking name
Lyra.
is. Standing there, Poundland Becky.
Taya Valkyrie is the one that's married to John Morrison. One who looks like a man. Anyway, yeah, speaking of men, the men's match was better, but this match, so yeah, Davenport wins, and then Lyra Valkyrie comes out and holds up the belt, and then Cora Jade comes out and attacks Lyra Valkyrie from behind. Not even a big attack, it was like just a club and blow to the back, really. Then she picks up the belt and holds it as if she's going to be the next challenger, even though Blair Davenport just had to go through this match, she had to qualify for this match, she had to win this match. But then Cora Jade just comes out and all of a sudden thinks that she's somehow in contention. I don't know, I just don't really get that.
Yeah, I hate things like that.
I think the fact that Blair Davenport won this match, the focus should just be on Blair Davenport and Lyra Valkyrie. The fact that Cora Jade comes out and holds up the belt and is almost being considered now as in this title contention mix, it's like, well, what's the fucking point of Blair Davenport winning this match?
What do we just sit for 25 minutes for?
It's like, could you imagine someone wins the Royal Rumble and then I just don't. It's dumb. I think that moment should be between the new challenger, the new number one contender, and the champion, not someone who's been gone for a while and has no Game of Thrones claim, no claim to the throne.
Yeah, at least with Carmelo Hayes later on the night, there is a feud there, and there's a potential that he's attacked Trick.
This would be like Benji Stark coming back and saying he should be king.
Aye.
Doesn't really have much claim here.
But let's talk about Lexi's king, because he got beat by Carmelo Hayes. Don't agree with this, but I'm not going to go overboard.
Like, I'm not saying every new person, every guy that is just debuted fresh has to win their first premium live event or first pay-per-view. But I think when you're trying to build them into a big star, and I think it is clear that WWE are trying to do that with Lexi King, they put a lot more focus on him than they have the average new guy. I think when you're trying to build a new star, they shouldn't really be losing.
Yeah, like Carmelo Hayes is on the downward spiral because he's in Trick Williams' shadow. Why can't he lose? Why can't it play?
I think a loss tonight would have created even more tension between him and Trick. It would have added to the jealousy.
Yep.
With Carmelo Hayes losing tonight, and Carmelo Hayes, could have lost thinking he was like trying to defend the honour of Trick. Then he ends up losing, then Trick was on to win, and then you've got Trick on a high after being victorious, and then you've Carmelo Hayes who was trying to avenge Trick Williams and he got beat doing so. I think that would add a bit more to it, but no, we have Carmelo Hayes win, and then Lexi King basically is sitting in the ring smiling. He goes, "Thanks for the premium live event match." So it's like Lexi King's basically saying, doesn't matter that I lost it, I got on a pay-per-view. Is that the goal? Oh, you appeared on a random NXT pay-per-view you've achieved in life. I mean, the guy should be upset that he's lost.
That'd be like LA Knight, though, after losing against Reigns at Crown Jewel saying that.
Thanks for the main event match, buddy. I mean, it didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't, and the winner didn't, and I don't know, just fell flat on its face.
I mean, it was an alright match, but
let's talk about the only good / great match. We had the men's Iron Survivor Challenge match, but it's not called that. Well, you know what, damn it. I enjoyed this one. The simple reason is there was just different variants in it. I look at the women's and it's like they're all kind of similar apart from Lash Legend. In this you have, you've got the story of Williams, you've got Braun Breaker coming in with the spear, you've got D-Jack getting it cost by Eddie Thorpe, you've got Josh Briggs being the underdog. Who's the other guy I'm forgetting? I hate Tyler Bate. I hate him.
I wouldn't say everyone's the same in the women's match. I would just say that there's not that many main eventers in the women's one. Not that I'm saying everyone in this one was a main eventer, but the women's match did lack star power. And I don't mean star power as in actual stars. I mean star power as in people that you consider at the top of the NXT division. I don't feel like the women's one had that. Where at least in this one, you've got Braun Breaker, who can be considered the top dog in NXT. And then you also had like Trick Williams, who they're trying to push D-Jack, who's a dominant force. Tyler Bate, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, is a guy that has been competing for titles and had title shots and been in main events. And then you had Josh Briggs, who was the kind of odd guy out in here. And I think he only picked up the least amount of pinfalls. But I thought it was a cool concept where they did mix up a little bit rather than have like 5 main eventers that there's not much to pick between them. I like the fact that there was a guy that was a clear underdog.
Yeah, no, so do I, but also going into the last minute in this match, literally any of the men could have won. Now, yes, Trick Williams was on 0, but we kind of thought he was going to start getting victories. In the women's, it was kind of, she's going to get with 10 seconds to go and she's going to need to catch her.
True, but based on the fact that Trick Williams picked up 4 victories in a minute, I guess that tells you in the women's one, with a minute to go, the highest person only had 2, and Kalani had none. So if we're using the men's logic, then I guess Kalani easily could have won the women's match.
She could have, but she doesn't have the tricks.
She didn't have the tricks. So, I mean, pretty good match. Braun Breaker's the last guy. So Trick Williams is the second last guy out, comes in, doesn't really get any offense, and he actually gets pinned relatively quick. So he goes to the penalty box. Braun Breaker comes out, and the contrast is insane. Within a minute, Braun Breaker's got 3 pinfalls, and he's leading the match.
Yeah.
Trick
Trick
Williams comes out, and with like in the space of a minute, he's got no pinfalls, and he's in the penalty box. And then he spent more time in the penalty box than in the actual ring, and I wasn't even joking when I said that. I think he was pinned, I want to say he had 6 pinfalls to his name, which would take you 9 minutes. So I believe he spent 9 minutes in the penalty box.
And that's another issue,
6 minutes in the actual match.
Look how many pins you're taking in this. They're not weakening you.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, could you imagine though, like, back in the day, if, like, Austin was getting pinned 6 times in a match just to fucking win it?
By someone like a Josh Briggs?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the equivalent of Austin. No offence to the guy like back then, but that would be like Austin getting pinned by a 1999 Bradshaw.
Aye.
It just didn't really happen. And it wouldn't really happen.
Now, obviously, at the end of the match, you just see Trick Williams has won. But at the end of the day, he's been pinned a million times.
True, but I think that almost works with Trick Williams. Who I don't think it works with though is Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker comes out, looks very impressive, gets 3 pinfalls within a minute, but I think he was also pinned 3 times in this match.
Yeah.
So it kind of cancels out the 3.
Aye.
I don't know. Like, The Undertaker just wouldn't fit a match like this.
No.
Someone that's over just wouldn't. Like, look at Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hasn't been pinned in what? Is it like nearly 4 years?
Yeah.
Imagine Roman Reigns.
Well, he got pinned at the tag team.
Alright, so before that, alright then, so let's say before that happened, it was like nearly 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years, whatever. Like, so let's say he hasn't been pinned in 3 years, then you go into a match like this and he's maybe eaten 3 pinfalls within the 25 minutes, or even less than that if he doesn't start the match.
Mm-hmm.
How can you go from a guy that very rarely loses and then you go in a match and you're losing like 3 times within the space of...
But that's the difference though between this and the Championship Scramble. In the Scramble, you didn't need to get an amount of pins. It was whoever was last pinned, or who last got the pin. Like, see in those Championship Scrambles, Triple H wasn't getting pinned like 10 times.
I don't even think... Nah, it was like jobbers that were getting pinned.
Yeah, like Brian Kendrick was eating the pins.
And I think he even had the pinfall once.
No, he
but he didn't get over Triple H.
He had it with like 9 seconds to go.
I think he beat MVP. I think he pinned MVP. But, I mean, I guess they could do that. And there's no reason. I mean, if let's say Braun Breaker's the number 1 guy in this match, Braun Breaker can not win the match and not get pinned as well. But they didn't seem to do that. They just seemed to share the pins. The guy got pinned the most is Trick Williams and he won, so it is what it is.
All numbers getting thrown about with Trick one. Let's talk about 16 tons of steel cage, because it was a steel cage match up next.
I thought you were going to talk about the 16-time world champion, Ric Flair.
I wish I was, but he's all elite these days, and to be the man, you gotta be all elite. That's his new t-shirt.
To beat the man, you gotta bleed.
You gotta bleed a lot, but there was no blood in this match. We did have a debut / return / who the fuck are you? No idea who it is.
Don't think this feud's
I
really
actually
doing much.
I can't even remember her name.
Lizzie something?
Lizzie Dane.
Lizzie Dane. Don't think this match warranted a steel cage.
It was a bit of a sloppy ending.
I just don't think these women are suited for a steel cage. Like, look at Roxanne Perez. She's like 4'10".
See, take this match out, right? And this is where you put the Punk segment in for me.
Right.
In between your main Survivor match and your main event. I mean,
Punk was apparently talking to Shawn Michaels about coming to NXT. Why didn't we get to see that? Like on SmackDown after Punk's promo, we got to see Punk backstage. Why didn't we get to see Punk talking in Michaels' office tonight?
yeah. I liked the Punk Michaels promo, but it was like almost like it was cut short by like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like as soon as it started, it kind of ended.
Yeah, it's like Triple H backstage, like, fuck, pull Shawn out of there before he kills him for wearing a Bret Hart hoodie. Anyway, James wins this match, but we're the real losers here. And then the main event, Baron Corbin, he may have the wife, the car, the kids, the pool table.
But he's not got the NXT championship.
He couldn't even do it for his dog. I can't remember what his dog was called, but he couldn't even do it for his dog. Eli wouldn't let him have it. And yeah, I hate his finishers, man. He just pounds on top of him. The big shoulder tackle for like the 5'1" midget. And this guy just sucks, man. He's Tyler Bate with a bit of steroids.
Yeah, it's Tyler Bate with a slightly better physique. I
From
just
washing all those cars in Eastern Europe.
when I look at Bate and when I look at Dragunov, I just see a little bit of dwarfism. They're just really small guys that just do not look like stars. They wear just boring ass trunks, got the same kind of gear, you know, the wee stupid trunks and the wee stupid boots. There's just nothing interesting about Tyler Bate or Eli Dragunov.
They will both amount to nothing on the main roster.
How can Eli Dragunov imagine his, like, I don't know if you remember, but it showed you, I think it was it Baron Corbin arriving to the arena earlier? Or was it, yeah, I think it was Baron Corbin arriving to the arena, and he walks past one of those big 18-wheeler trucks, and it was a WrestleMania truck, and it had Roman Reigns' face on it.
Ah, yes.
I just don't ever see Eli Dragunov or Tyler Bate being in that position where you're driving past, let's say, WrestleMania 43 is in Texas. You're driving down Texas, you see a big billboard, and it's WrestleMania 43, and it's Tyler Bate's face, or it's Eli Dragunov's face. I don't see that.
Unless he ends up under it or something.
Now, can you see Braun Breaker up there? Absolutely, 100%. But I don't know, I don't see anything in this guy. I really don't.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Maybe NXT is the time to give guys long title reigns like this and see what they can do with it, because we've clearly seen like...
Well, we know what he can do with it. Bore the tits clean off us, that's what he can do with it.
Yeah.
I'm not even a big Becky Lynch fan, but it is no coincidence that as soon as Becky kind of left NXT and this guy became the main focus, the ratings have tanked.
And now we're getting CM Punk.
You know, and they were beating Dynamite, and now they're hovering just above 600,000.
I to beat the dragon, you must kill the dragon, but I am the dragon.
The guy's just not interesting. It is what it is.
No,
it's not really that's not a knock on him, because there's a lot of people in wrestling that aren't interesting.
But a lot of them aren't the world champ.
Yeah, so that's the only problem I've got.
Right, I'm going to give this show a 3 out of 10.
That's what it's getting for me as well. I mean, there was nothing horrible on it. There wasn't anything great either.
It peaked in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, I enjoyed the opening segment, and I liked the men's deadline match. Other than that, not a lot else to talk about, not a lot else to give praise to. But I mean, it wasn't overly bad. I mean, there's nothing horrible about it. It just didn't interest me.
Yeah, and that's a problem, man. You need to be interested.
Like, see when the last match was on, I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, who's going to win? Or I wasn't even sitting there thinking, oh, come on, I want Corbin to win. I was just thinking, can this hurry up, man, so I can refute and go to bed?
Yep.
And when I think that, when that's your mindset, then it's not
and
a good show.
Also, NXT benefits for segments on pay-per-view. You don't get segments. You don't get the family and the wee sit-downs. You don't get nothing. I would have liked Punk sitting down with the family.
The only person who sat down was fucking Baron Corbin, and then El Dragunov mounted him in a little bit of a gay fucking
like a
scene.
fucking donkey. Anyway, guys, 3 out of 10. We're the mules. You know.